absolutely crazy. There's still a 1, 2, 3, 4-way tie between the Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Grizzlies are in the play-in. Like it's must win for all of these kind of fringe. Even the Lakers, they're only a game ahead of this 4-way tie in the West. Like, it's crazy. Like, that meltdown by the Timberwolves was all time. Giannis alone scored the same amount of points as the entire Timberwolves team in the fourth quarter.
40 to 13 or something like that?
He had 13 and T-Wolves had 13. So it's absolute. You cannot do that.
Here's the, oh my gosh, 4 of 20. The weirdest part is they had been, I think, 15-2 in their last 17 games. So they came in hot. They're rolling.
Yeah.
And if they win that game, they would have been 4th in the West.
Yes.
Because they lost, they fell to 8. That's kind of devastating. And we do
it's
like
a
the Timberwolves.
Huge drop.
I'm an Anthony Edwards fan.
Yeah.
Chris Finch, the great coach, comes on this show. I like them. I think they're good. I think they're dangerous. I don't think you want to see Minnesota in the first round.
No, definitely
Edwards could average 40 in the series.
Definitely not.
And
number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINZ AM Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Well, nice job, Carlos and Ricardo. Welcome from Citi Field in Queens, New York on another bitter 40-degree Wednesday afternoon in the city that never sleeps. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is ridiculous, this cold at this time of the year. Miami, we will see you soon, and I love you very much. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's game 12 of 162, the final game of this road trip for Miami. And this afternoon, we bring you game 3 series finale between your 5-6 Miami Marlins and the 8-3 New York Mets. Max Meyer will look to be the sweep stopper as he makes his third start of 2025 and his second career against the Mets. He will go opposite the towering Tylor Megill, 6'6" right-hander, who's been scintillating the first 2 starts of the season, pitching to a 0.87 ERA. It all starts at 1:10 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Wednesday afternoon with Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini. I'm Steven Strom. I always tell you it's a cool show. This is an elite show, okay? This is a very, very pristine show, and here's why. We have Rick Pitino that will join the program in a couple of minutes here. We also follow him up with one of the best TV announcers in all of baseball, Gary Cohen. He will preview Game 3. We'll get you at the count with Max Meyer and Tylor Megill. These guests are so good, I had to kick Craig Minervini and Jack McMullen off the show. They usually come in segment 4. They will not be a part of this. They are out here on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll get to our Expo question of the day at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to victory. So we'll start here with Max Meyer. And Meyer was the first Marlin to throw 6 innings and tally a quality start, which is 6 innings with less than 3 runs. But knowing Meyer and his competitive spirit, he was not happy after the Marlins took the loss in Atlanta last Friday night, was dealing with some trouble on the bases, but finagled his way out of it. All 3 runs were given up in that 3rd inning. We spoke with Max yesterday as he reflected on his outing and chatted about pitching in the cold that he's quite familiar with growing up in frigid Minnesota.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I have actually pitched in the cold. It's got to be since college. But yeah, I'm comfortable throwing in the cold. I just got to execute a few more, and obviously that's just getting consistent reps and just sticking to what I've been doing, sticking to being aggressive and not giving any free bases. I'm just trying to just watch some swings. They're a really good hitting team. We face them a lot in spring, so it's kind of always like we're always seeing it, but just trying to just stick with my approach and being aggressive. I think I just got to pitch to my strengths.
All right, so that was Max Meyer, who will make his third start here this afternoon. He did make one start against the Mets last year at Citi Field on August 17th, went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. He has arguably been the most impressive Marlins pitcher, not only based on his numbers, but based on the length in the game. He's the only pitcher for the Marlins this season, on very early, of course, to go 6 innings and to gain that trust in his manager to go 3 times around the lineup. We'll see here again if he can be the sweep stopper. Let me tell you something. Going back to the 305 with a 2-3 road trip versus 1-4, it feels a lot different. The Marlins would open up on Friday against Washington at a 6-6 record instead of being 2 under 500. So a little early big game for the Marlins, I think, in this spot against the New York Mets. Max Meyer will have a big say on how this flight ends up being for not only the players, but for us here in the booth. He'll go opposite Tyler McGill. We will have the great Rick Pitino on next. And plenty more on an action-packed Marlins on deck. Again, 1:10 first pitch series finale. Mets Marlins on the Marlins Radio Network.
Upgrade your family vacation.
Extra base hit in a Marlins uniform. First pitch, Mervis crushes out to right. Kelnick is back. He's looking up, and it's into the chop house and gone. Matt Mervis with the tone setter in the first. A 2-run homer, and the Marlins up 2-0 right away. Serving as the backup catcher right now. 1-1. Now on a bouncing ball over to third base. Paulie has it. On to second for 1. On to first in time for the double play. Nearly a shift beater. The lefty bat Baldwin bounced one over to typical shortstop positioning. That's where Graham Paulie was.
Line drive, that's a base hit. And there's the first Major League RBI for Liam Hicks. Have a night. And the Marlins lead 3-0.
Baseball season is 18.
There's another drive by Mervis, deep to right field. That ball is gone and way out of here. Have a night, Matt Mervis. His second homer as a Marlin. A solo shot here in the top of the 7th.
Whoa. Family looking on. They're loving it. 104 off the bat. 421 feet to right center field. Mervis in Miami. Start to dig it.
A lot of firsts for you today. You had your first extra base hit, your first RBI, your first caught stealing, your first multi-hit game. Which one was your favorite?
Probably first win behind the plate. I'd say that's the most important. So I'd say that was my first. That was the most important thing to me, and I was really happy with that.
What if I told you last year you were in Double-A, that a year later you would be navigating this lineup, shutting them out with the help of your pitchers, of course, and having an offensive game like you had today?
It'd be pretty hard to believe you, to be honest. I know what I'm capable of, but obviously that's a little...
Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
Well, here we go, off and running on a Wednesday afternoon, about 40 degrees out at Citi Field. We've got our coats on. I can't imagine what these players are feeling down there. Again, this should be hard to fathom that it is this cold in April here in the Big Apple. But here we are, the final game of this road trip. Marlins split in Atlanta. They are looking to avoid being swept at the hands of the New York Mets here this afternoon. 1:10 first pitch. Steven Strom, Craig Minervini, and Jack McMullen. Well, context is key for this situation because I opened up telling you Rick Pitino, the coach of the St. John's Red Storm, is joining the program. Yes, it is baseball. Yes, St. John's is the team that Rick Pitino coaches in basketball. But he is in his 36th season in coaching. He led the St. John's Red Storm to a 31-5 record and won the Big East Championship for the first time since 2000. The context: him, along with his entire team, are here today. Zuby Ejiofor is big-time center and is probably going to be an All-American next year going into 2026, are throwing out the first pitch. I got a chance to catch up with Rick, get the 411 on how he's feeling after his loss against the Arkansas Razorbacks, and just what to expect in the offseason and his connection to Miami. All right, Rick, look, I'm a Jersey guy. This cold at this time, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good playing the game of baseball, but here we are. What's it like here coming to Citi Field with your guys?
Well, at least the sun is out. I could just see if the sun wasn't out. It's not baseball. Obviously, Miami is a lot different than the beautiful stadium that you have there, whether the roof's open or not. This will be a difficult game. You know, the crack of the bat with those balls coming in 90 plus miles an hour. It's not comfortable.
Better wear those batting gloves. Now, Rick, you had an incredible run with your team. Are you over the Arkansas loss?
You know, I didn't take the Arkansas loss as bad as some other people. We had some really major injuries. We had 2 guys playing with torn ligaments in their thumb, 2 starters, and they were better than us that night. It wasn't a heartbreaking game where you lose at the buzzer. We give them the credit. They were better. We had a great season. I've lost in the first round. I've gone to 7 Final Fours. I know the agony of defeat, but in this case, we wanted to go further, especially. But we had some problems with our roster with the injuries we had, so we could probably go another round or 2. But I'm not sure we could have gotten to the Final Four with the injuries we had.
This is now pro ball. What does the offseason look like for you and your staff?
Well, we're trying to get a lot of free agents.
Is it crazy to say that?
Yeah, so it is. You know, it's amazing to me. When we first started out, we were talking about 400,000 or 500,000. Then it was going to be $1 million or $2 million. Then it was going to be $4 million. Now we're talking about $5 to $8 million being given out. Some players are getting $4 million, $3.2 million. And you know what the interesting thing is? 90% of them, this will be the highest paycheck they'll ever make in their life.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I hope they invest it wisely.
Absolutely. Let's get to the baseball now. Our field coordinator, Aaron Lenhart, I guess is getting credit for the torpedo bat. What's your take on that as baseball continues to just grow?
Well, if it's permissible, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that people make adjustments. I think that hitting is great for the game, certainly. But, you know, the Yankees were started out with a great bat, and suddenly they can't score a run against the Detroit Tigers. So when it comes down to it, I don't think it's going to be the bat.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of baseball players that have there in your Rick Pitino list?
Well, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I root for the Mets as well. I'm not one of those people.
The little Marlins.
Well, I was a season ticket holder of the Marlins when I was out of work. I'm still a season ticket holder of the Dolphins. But I'll say this. Mickey Mantle is my all-time favorite. I can name every position during that era. You know, whether it's Maris and Elston Howard in left and Maris in right. And then you had Kubek and Richardson and certainly Cletus Boyer, one of the best third basemen around. And you had Moose Scarron and Johnny Blanchard and Whitey Ford on the mound. And then you had Yogi before that. And so you had some great pitches, great catches, and Casey Stengels was the manager. It was a great time to love baseball. I was sitting with my 2 girl cousins, staying with my Italian grandmother in the Bronx, 1 train stop away, and we saw about 10, 12 games sitting in the grandstands for, I think, $1.20.
That is the beauty of baseball. You always can connect those memories, and it is just a game where you can watch with people, have conversation. It's the beauty of baseball. It really is.
It really is. I'm a season ticket. I have 4 great season tickets for the New York Yankees, second row behind the dugout. I sit there with a beer and a hot dog, and I just have a great time. I just relax. It's one of the few times in my life as a basketball coach, I just relax.
Very good. Cannot wait to get back to Jersey in the offseason. I will be at the Garden at some point and continue to make college basketball just fun, man. It's been such a great season and incredible time watching you.
Well, thanks. Your owner's a great guy. I've spent some time with him. He's a terrific.
Mr. Sherman.
Yes, he's a terrific man. And Bill Janicek, who's the chairman of the board of trustees, is a percentage owner of the Marlins as well. And he's the big saint. He actually hired me. He came to my house and gave the approval to hire me.
Unbelievable. Thank you for the time, Rick. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Are you kidding me? First of all, thank you very much to Rick Pitino. Look, I heard he was here. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. When I realized that Rick Pitino was here, I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to get him for a 3.5-minute spot. And with the help of the engineer with the New York Mets, Chris Maj, I can't even pronounce his last name, but I went over there and I said, you need to give me St. John's SID's number. I got to figure out a way to do it. Texted him, went down there because, again, he's throwing out the first pitch. His entire team is here right now to throw out the first pitch. he had a press conference. The very own Pat McCarthy, pregame host and the radio voice of the New York Mets, was getting him. And I said, I need to somehow, some way, finagle my way in. And that's what you do as a journalist. Sometimes you got to do it. You got to be aggressive. I went in there. I wasn't taking no for an answer. Him and Pat went into a room together, did the pregame spot. I was standing right next to that door. As soon as I saw the Godfather come out, I said, let's go. And we went in there and we had a great conversation. Then you learn something new. How about that? Bill Janicek, chairman of St. John's Board of Trustees, was the guy that ultimately had the last say of hiring Rick Pitino from Iona. And look at what he did, 31-5 this year, Big East champions, first time since 2000. Now, what's the Marlins connection? Well, he's a minority owner of the Miami Marlins. So you never know. We know that Pitino was a Miami guy. He does stay there. He does reside there. He did tell me he's going there right after this game, by the way, because, again, it's 41 degrees, 85 in Miami. Hello, why are we still here? But awesome job, Rick Pitino. Unbelievable. One of the greatest, undisputed, one of the greatest basketball coaches to ever live. Just really cool opportunity to get him on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will get back to the baseball. We still got Gary Cohen on. He is on, segment 4. We'll get you out of the count with Max Meyer and Tyler McGill next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Outdoor video board, Las Vegas. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line drive, left field. Will it stay up? Conine diving in the backhand. Did he catch it? He did. What a catch by Conine in left field. On the backhand, saves a run, and the Marlins get out of the inning. Wow. What a play by Griff.
Has at first. And the 1-1 from Holmes to Hicks. That one is peeled down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and Conine right behind him. Nimmo picks it up and fires it in, but Liam Hicks peels a 2-run single down the left field line. Soft contact and walks. It's 2-0 Marlins in the first. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. On set at the belt. It is 1-1. Hill lifts that one out to center field and deep. Tyrone Taylor back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Derek Hill with a 2-run opposite field blast, and all of a sudden, it's a
$199 value. Plus, shop today for new and exclusive items you need for your lawn. So get ready for spring with the latest in innovation from Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Only at Lowe's. We help, you save. Offer valid through 4/16. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Hey, this is Eric Wagman, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
1:10 first pitch series finale between the Miami Marlins and New York Mets. Last time we see the Mets until August, the last game of this road trip for Miami. We talked about it. If they can salvage one this afternoon, you go back to the 305 with a 2-3 road trip record and then a 6-6 overall record headed into that Friday game. Off day tomorrow against the Washington Nationals, off day Monday, and then they'll finish up a series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm Steven Strom, host of the program. Thanks for joining me today. Jack McMullen and Craig Minervini have your call at 1:10. Awesome spot with Rick Pitino, St. John's head coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time, joining Marlins on Deck. Really cool. We discovered Bill Janicek, the chairman of St. John's Board of Trustees, minority owner with the Miami Marlins, made the final decision on to hire Rick Pitino. So really cool connection there. Okay, let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start with Max Meyer, who is scoffing at the forecast today. I mean, he's probably laughing at all of us with all these big coats and these pea coats, and we've got gloves, we've got layers on. He is a Woodbury, Minnesota native, so this is nothing for him. It is 41 degrees at Citi Field, 26-year-old right-hander. Will make his third start of the season. He comes in to Wednesday 0-1, a 3.09 ERA. 11 2/3. He took his first loss on Friday in Atlanta, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits over 6 innings. He struck out a career-high 8. Dealt with traffic all night, gave up all 3 of his runs in that third inning. He's made one career start against the Mets at Citi Field last year, August 17th. 4 frames, 6 hits, 4 runs. He's punched out 7 or more in back-to-back starts for the first time in his career. Meyer will go opposite Tylor Megill, and he is off to a scintillating start. 29-year-old, 6'7", towering right-hander in Season 5 with New York. He's 2-0 with a 0.87 ERA over 10 1/3. 2 starts to the season, earned the win over Toronto on Friday, allowing 2 hits, walked 3, K'd 4, over 5 1/3 shutout innings. Again, it's been a strong start, giving up just 1 run on 5 hits, 4 walks combined, striking out 10 over 10 1/3. He's thrown 48 of 82 balls for strikes. His career against Miami, 2-2, a 3.74 ERA in 4 starts and 1 appearance. So that's your matchup on the mound, Max Meyer and Tylor Megill. The television voice of the New York Mets, Gary Cohen, he joins us next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Visit Miccosukee Casino.
Extra base hit in a Marlins uniform. First pitch, Mervis crushes out to right. Kelnick is back. He's looking up, and it's into the chop house and gone. Matt Mervis with the tone setter in the first. A 2-run homer, and the Marlins up 2-0 right away. Serving as the backup catcher right now. 1-1. That one a bouncing ball over to third base. Paulie has it on to second for 1. On to first in time for the double play. Nearly a shift beater. The lefty bat Baldwin bounced one over to typical shortstop positioning. That's where Graham Paulie was.
Line drive, that's a base hit. And there's the first Major League RBI for Liam Hicks. Have a night. And the Marlins lead 3-0.
Baseball season is 18.
There's another drive by Mervis, deep to right field. That ball is gone and way out of here. Have a night, Matt Mervis. His second homer as a Marlin. A solo shot here in the top of the 7th.
Whoa. Family looking on. They're loving it. 104 off the bat. 421 feet to right center field. Mervis in Miami. Start to dig it.
A lot of firsts for you today. You had your first extra base hit, your first RBI, your first caught stealing, your first multi-hit game. Which one was your favorite?
Probably first win behind the plate. I'd say that's the most important. So I'd say that was my first, that was the most important thing to me, and I was really happy with that.
What if I told you last year you were in Double-A, that a year later you would be navigating this lineup, shutting them out with the help of your pitchers, of course, and having an offensive game like you had today?
It'd be pretty hard to believe you, to be honest. I know what I'm capable of, but obviously that's a little...
Impact now at 954-500-LOCK. That's 954-500-LOCK, or visit LoctiteImpact.com.
About 19 minutes away from first pitch, Game 3 series finale and the final game of this road trip for the Miami Marlins. Great to have you aboard on a Wednesday afternoon from chilly New York, 41 degrees, live at Citi Field. Steven Strom, Craig Minervini, and Jack McMullen, those two have your call at 1:10. Max Meyer will go opposite Tylor Megill, looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of the New York Mets. To get you ready for Game 3 in the series finale, here is the TV voice of the Mets since 2005, Gary Cohen. All right, Gary, what's been the most encouraging part of this 6-game winning streak early on for the Mets?
Well, the fact that they're really not hitting on all cylinders offensively, and they're still 8-3. I mean, the pitching has been extraordinary. I think we thought that their bullpen would be solid. They've got a really well-composed bullpen of, you know, guys who can throw an inning at a time like Diaz and Stanek and Minter, and then the multiple inning guys like Buto and Kranick and Brazoban, and it's gone about as well as it could possibly go. They've got a 1.27 bullpen ERA. But I think the surprising thing is that the starters have also been good. They haven't gone deep into games, but, you know, lacking a couple of their expected starting pitchers, Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas, everybody's held up their end. And, you know, it's funny, 4 years in a row, Tylor Megill, who's pitching today, went to spring training on the outside looking in, and 4 years in a row, he has been in the rotation from the start of the season, including an opening day start in 2022, and he's been magnificent so far, and it really looks like at age 29, his career has really turned a corner.
Gary Cohen with us now, 2 more left for you. With Juan Soto, we know what he does from a production standpoint, but what else outside of the on the field has he brought to this organization?
Well, I think you never know about a guy until he's in your clubhouse every day. This is a team that had a special mojo last year, about as good a clubhouse as I have ever been around in 37 years of doing Mets baseball. And, from year to year, chemistry changes because some guys leave and some guys come in and different guys come in with different attitudes. But Juan Soto has really meshed with this group from day one. He's a superstar. He's the highest paid player in the game, but there is no act. There's no diva. There's no prima donna in him. He is a hardworking, committed baseball player, and he likes to have fun. And this clubhouse has fun, and he's fit in right from the beginning. And he really hasn't hit his stride yet. He's gotten on base every game. He's drawn a lot of walks, which he does, but he hasn't really had a breakout period where he's hit a lot of extra base hits or done anything extraordinary. He's just a grinder. Every at bat, he brings such an incredible intensity to, and I think it rubs off in the entire team.
Not sure how many guys are going to get walked for Pete Alonso, Juan Soto being one of them. We had a competitive series in Miami, at least the last 2 games. What have been your takeaways or impressions of Miami early on here in 25?
Well, it's a very young team, and I know how many starting pitchers they're missing, and I've been impressed by the way they've been able to bring up guys like Connor Gillespie and Valente Biozo, who don't throw particularly hard but have been effective against the Mets. It's obviously going to be a difficult year for Miami, and when they start getting some of their pieces back, it's going to be easier. But with all the rookies that are playing virtually every day, I mean, to me, guys like Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards look like they belong in the big leagues. How many of the other pieces around them are going to be staying for the long term, I think, is the thing that the Marlins need to figure out.
Time will tell. Thank you for the time, Gary. Appreciate it, and great seeing you.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, excellent stuff from Gary Cohen, one of the best, if not the best in the business, getting us ready for Game 3 series finale at Citi Field. We'll break. We'll get our X-Poll question of the day. We'll get Steve's guarantee. That's all next as we get you ready for a 1:10 first pitch Marlins Mets right here on the Marlins Radio Network at Lone Depot.
Outdoor video board Las Vegas. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line drive, left field. Will it stay up? Conine diving in the backhand. Did he catch it? He did. What a catch by Conine in left field. On the backhand, saves a run, and the Marlins get out of the inning. Wow. What a play by Griff.
Has at first. And the 1-1 from Holmes to Hicks. That one is peeled down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and Conine right behind him. Nimmo picks it up and fires it in, but Liam Hicks peels a 2-run single down the left field line. Soft contact and walks. It's 2-0 Marlins in the first. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the sixth. On set at the belt. It is 1-1. Hill lifts that one out to center field and deep. Tyrone Taylor back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Derek Hill with a 2-run opposite field blast, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. 6-5 New York in the sixth. That's Hill's first homer of the year. He is on the way. And that one is lifted out to left center field. Conine got a good break. Conine drifting back, while also giving back. Visit marlins.com/raffle for more information.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
Well, I always tell the guys that walk into Marlins Radio to empty the tank. And when you leave this place, you gave everything that you could. And I did with this pregame show. Rick Pitino, segment 2, Gary Cohen, segment 4. I did my best. I hope you guys are ready for a 1:10 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network. I'm Steven Strom, Craig Minervini, Jack McMullen. Those two have your call in about 12 minutes. And with emptying the tank, the X-Poll question maybe is a little bit easier today at Marlins Radio. What Marlin is from Mineola, New York? That's a good one. It's an easy one. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. Hint, hint, he's in the lineup today. Not going to tell you a position because that's just way too obvious. It's time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Got the lineup card today, and I looked down, and before I even can get past the third spot, I said, wow. And why I said wow is because Jonah Bride, who has clearly struggled this year, he's 2 for 28. Clayton McCullough and company said, we need to get this guy back going. He is batting third today and playing first base. I like him to have 2 hits tonight. It's only a matter of time. Jonah Bride had a great second half. I know he's struggling. 2 for 28 in August. I mean, it's still rough, but to start a season, it feels a lot bigger. Everything is magnified. I'd like Jonah Bride to have 2 hits here against the Mets this afternoon. Folks, I hope you get the itch for first pitch because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints the picture. Craig Minervini, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups and first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together. Miami Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.